Hey there, welcome back to the 30-Day Year Podcast. I'm Jacqueline Conway. I'm with my husband, Dave, and we are helping to stretch your thinking. We want to challenge you to start thinking what could happen if you turned your annual income into your monthly income. That's the whole premise behind a 30-day year, is that multiplication effort. And if you're new to us, welcome. Please hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Check out past episodes as well. And be sure to download our 30-day year goal setting guide. It's going to show you how we set a goal in this way, has our 9 steps to effective goal setting, and it's going to make the episodes even more relatable for you. Today, we're talking about values, which is really what's important to us. And we've got incredible exercises we're going to share with you, so stick with us till the end. And we have incredible stories to share about the importance of this and how it can support you in decision-making and clarity and so many other things, and support this whole 30-day year journey. So to get started, Dave, what are your thoughts on values?
My thoughts on values are that values are foundational.
Ooh, good one.
They're foundational. And if you look up, as I always like to wordsmith a word, the word value does mean strong, strength. So when you know what you value and you know what your personal values are, you can start to have personal standards. You've got like a little compass to know if you've deviated off. Values are essential in life, and they're essential in business.
Totally. And what I think is particularly interesting about values, we teach this at some of our seminars, actually. We have whole sessions about this topic, is that they are revealed. It's not like sometimes people would ask me at the seminars, like, what if it's something that I want to acquire? Like, what if I want to be disciplined? Or what if I really want to be rich or whatever? It's like, well, that's part of the goal. But the value is already there. It's like inherent in you. So if you want to earn more money in your business, if you want to have some traits in you, what's already there that's going to support that, as opposed to trying to impress something on yourself? I feel like something totally different. This is like already there and we're revealing it.
Yeah, and I think values too, what they do is like when you have a value, I think the value has to stretch you. So it's like these new standards that you live by. And maybe you were a period of your life where you didn't live by those and you suffered because of that. So values are pretty idealistic. They're these ideals that, wow, I would like to be like that. Like, let's say generosity. I want to be a generous man.
Yeah.
Well, your values should be pulling more from you and revealing more to you. So the values themselves are revealed, but then also the values, as you engage with them, they reveal more about yourself, where you can get better, where you can improve.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, and they do evolve as well. And so where it may start as one conversation can become something else. I know in our business we had, I think it was standards for a really long time. And you just spoke to standards. And we still have high standards, and we'll always have high standards. But for the purposes of leading our team and working with our team, it became obvious that actually professionalism was really what we wanted to instill. And so it wasn't to get rid of the first concept. It was to continue to develop it. And again, like you say, reveal what it actually is that you do value. And I really feel that that's such a process. So when it comes to this whole concept of revealing your values, the real thing is, well, how do we reveal our values? What's some good exercises, or how did we even do that? And so did you want to tell the story, or should I tell the story?
I can tell the story, but you can tell how we did
rights?
it. Yeah, you got chime-in rights.
Okay.
So we were out for supper with my brother and his partner, and Danny used to work for Salesforce, and Salesforce has this thing called a V2 MOM, which is vision, values,
methods, obstacles, measures.
There you go. And he started telling us about values. So then that night when we went home, we started to think we need to set foundational values for our company.
Yeah.
And we took a big piece of paper.
Well, I had all of this newsprint paper from my days in I was in design school. So I had all this paper just in storage, not doing anything, newsprint. So we covered the table with it. And then I think we just Googled value words just for inspiration, just to have some things to choose from. And we wrote down
100.
Yeah, a ton, everything that kind of jumped out. Anything that kind of felt maybe that, maybe that, maybe that. And then once we had written everything out, then we just kind of whittled it down, or
Yeah, I remember we had different colored markers to circle
Yes.
words that were jumping out more.
Yes. Yeah. And then we got down to maybe like 20, and then we got down to like 15, and then we ended up, I think, around 8. So we had 8 that really felt, that summarized, everything that we believed in or that we felt was important. And then we could start to like have that brand foundation, and then that place to go back to share with our team, and just explain more about who we were as a company and really create that identity at a deeper level. And what's cool about it though is that in our instance, like, we are like partners in the business, right? And so the values of the company are so deeply connected to just what we personally value, then I would say. And sometimes I think companies can have like, these are the company values, these are the personal values. But I felt like there was kind of like this, it felt like a mixture to me. Like, I feel like I value the things that we came up with in my personal life and my professional life as well. Like, they do feel congruent. And our first one is faith. That's our first value, faith in the unseen.
If you're loving this content, remember to hit the like and subscribe button and help us get this 30-day year message out.
When we've gone through seasons where we're like, is this the right thing to do? Like, should we give up that thing that we've been doing for ages and try something else? Like, should we take this risk? Should we hire this person?
Yeah.
Should we do whatever? Just knowing it's like, tap the sign. Well, the first value is faith. Like, having faith that we have the support.
Yeah, that there's a power that has our back, and then we're going to achieve what we want. And it's interesting because it's like, oh, what a lovely idea, right? So it's like the values, like I said before, values, they're idealistic, they're lovely. It's like, wow, I'd love to live by that, or a part of me does. I aspire to that. So I think values need to be constantly. You need to be humble to them. So it's like, wow, yeah, faith, what a beautiful value. But man, what a difficult thing to be constantly living into.
It is.
Because
really is.
At the end of the day, what your values really do is your values determine how you make decisions.
100%. And there was a few big contracts I signed in probably the last 18 months. And I was like, really had to lean into that value where I was like, this is a lot of money, or this is a lot of like, perceived risk at the start, but I think it's going to turn out well. But it really helps you move through those hurdles. Like, I've had to overcome so many fears, like being in business. There was a quote recently that Sarah Blakely posted being like, there's no better therapy than entrepreneurship, because you confront like all of your
That's good.
bullshit.
That's
yes,
true.
It's true. Like, you have to go through so much when you run a business, and you're always coming up against things that you know you should do, but are scary. And you're like, even hiring the first few staff members and all of those things, right? It's like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, like everything will be fine. It's all fine. Like, you're not going to be living under the bridge because you hired somebody. Like, you just have to relax. And so you just have to constantly be, and then, I mean, the investments get bigger, the numbers of people you employ get bigger, everything gets bigger. So it's just getting accustomed to it, and then maintaining the professionalism and the standards along the way. But yeah.
How do you navigate values and change, and even the changing of a value? Have you ever experienced a change in values?
Yeah, kind of like the standards and the professionalism one. I think that a lot of times in a team setting, it just can become revealed, through situations and circumstances, and things will happen, and you'll be like, but wait a second, why is this happening when we really value high standards? But we're clearly not operating with high standards here. It's like, it's not, the word isn't connecting to the person.
Yeah.
And there's so much power in the words that we choose.
There is. And you can see it too. Like, you go into like an office space.
Yeah.
And it's like they got their values up there, but they're not actually, no one's involved in them.
Yeah. And I refuse to work somewhere
or visions too that are like that. It's like, oh, we're this. And it's like, oh, okay.
And I just,
no one's involved in that, of those ideas.
And I feel strongly, and I think you do too, that I can't work in a place like that. I can't work where the value sign is dusty and you're not actually living into it.
Yeah, it should be worked every day.
It should be worked every day. It should be just part of your process. Like, in our business, we've always valued agility, which is like adaptability, flexibility, like willingness. I see agility as willingness as well, because new information will come in and it might make the old idea and project obsolete. And so we just have to be willing to accept that change. So I think agility will always be a value of ours. And I do feel that it's served us a lot too. being able to like be a jet ski every now and then and be like, okay, like I know we're maybe a bit of a bigger jet ski. Have you seen those bigger jet skis that hold like 30 people? I feel like that's what we are now.
Like a pontoon?
No, they're like, we saw them in Mexico. So you have like your classic jet ski, right? With 1 or 2 people.
A 30-person jet ski?
Yes. We saw them in Xel-Há, that like park we went to in Mexico. There's like these big jet skis.
Yeah, like the boats.
Yes, they're like a boat, but they move like a jet ski. And so
that's what we are now?
I think that's what we are. Because it was like our whole team could fit in that jet ski.
We're not a tugboat.
We're not a tugboat.
No.
I think we're like a slightly bigger jet ski now. Or whatever. It had its fancy name. Anyways.
If you were an entrepreneur starting today, what would be 2 values that you would say, you should definitely think about these to start to grow your business?
Well, I kind of think we've talked about them. I think it's faith and agility. Like, I can't imagine our business without those 2 things. Without the willingness to pivot when maybe we've gotten the idea wrong. So it's connected to humility. So I suppose humility could be another value, but I think it's wrapped up in this one for us and how we operate. And then the faith is essential because you have to have the belief. If it's just not there, because the conviction is connected to that as well. Like
and the persistence to move through things.
That's right. So I feel like we've thrown out a lot of different values now, but they're all kind of derivatives of the same thing, which in my opinion is faith and agility. But like I say, the words you choose can change the intention behind it. And then how people can like understand it as well. That work for you.
There's been one value that's changed my whole life. And if I was advising like a new entrepreneur to consider a value, for me personally, it's generosity. Has been... That's
one of our core values
as
well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's a core value of Conway Mentorship. And it's a core value of my own personally. Yep. So every day I always am endeavoring to be a generous man. It's like the best way to live. And it just puts so much good out. And you receive so much great 100%. Stuff back.
100%. I fully agree with that too. It also connects to going the extra mile. So that's something we talk about in terms of the service that we provide to our clients. It's like gem them up or gem your clients, right? Gem your clients.
Go the extra mile.
Because it really does feel good to go the extra mile too. Like it feels like you're in harmony with something bigger when you operate that way. Are you loving this episode? Do you know someone else that would also enjoy it? It would mean the world to us if you'd share it with them. Thanks so much.
So what's a practical exercise that someone could do?
Well, I would just steal the one that we did. Like get some large print paper on a table with like preferably those markers that smell good, those like Etch-a-Sketch ones or whatever they're called. Just have a little session, a value session with yourself. Put on some music you like, make it fun.
Yeah, make it fun.
Make it fun. Yeah, like have like a glass of wine if that's your thing, or a Slurpee, or I was craving a Slurpee earlier, so whatever you're into. But I want to talk about connecting values to decision making, because I think this is big, because I know knowing my values, or at least articulating them, has made decision making a lot easier, I'd say. It's like you still have to discern sometimes, and you still have to like look at the whole thing, the whole picture, but it has certainly helped me. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, 100%. If you don't know your values, then how do you make decisions?
Yeah.
So a lot of our values they've been programmed unconsciously. So our folks grew up in a time, I don't know, actually I do know. Like my parents loved buffets. Mm-hmm. So that was value, right?
I would say that mine do too.
Yeah, like value eating was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
But now in the world, it's like quality is a big thing.
Right.
That people are seeking.
Can I share a real world example of that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is Las Vegas known for? Like casinos, some of the seedier things that maybe are coming to mind, but buffets. Like buffets are everywhere. And we host an event called Freedom Mastermind at Fontainebleau. They do not have a buffet.
Exactly.
It's the newest, like most beautiful hotel on the Strip, and they don't have one.
Yeah, because the modern consumer, their consumer doesn't value that.
Right.
But our folks, like my dad, whenever he had his birthday, we would go to an Asian buffet.
Yeah.
That's where they see the value. It's like the
what he
smallest price for the most food. It's not the best quality food. It's actually low quality, but the price versus the volume, that was like what they value. So they make decisions based on that.
Yes.
Right. So as your values change, so you unconsciously do value things, but to be able to sit down and really start to say, who am I and who would I like to be? And what's the values of that person? And then you lean into that in your decision making. And that's how you transform your life. So many people talk about like identity, how it's important. Goal setting is important. Identity is important. But at the root of your identity is what you value, what you believe is valuable. And you got to lean into that, though. It's not enough just to say that, oh, you value that, but then you deviate sometimes. You have to really lean into your values on a daily because the core of values, like back in the Latin, is strength.
Yeah.
So values make you stronger.
Yeah.
And that's important. So they should be stronger than you as well. So it's that relationship between in and out. Like I lean into the value, then the value leans back into me, and I become stronger because of that.
Yeah.
And I can make better decisions even under the temptation of fear, the temptation of quitting, the temptation of going the easier way, the path of least resistance. Values move you through all of that stuff. They're essential to a person and a company.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it connects to change as well, like navigating change. Like when we know what's important, we know that we still have the foundation, even if things are changing around us. Like AI changes a lot for people all the time. How you work, how tools are used, how you invest in technology in your business, all these things all the time. And so, but if you know what's important, you can navigate those things a lot easier.
And when we hire people, we share the vision and the values with the people. Are you on board with that?
Yeah.
Do you see any conflict do you think that's something that you can't get behind?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes people quit.
Yeah.
And that's
They
totally
stop
fine.
during the process because of it.
Yeah. Which I think is great.
Yeah. And you have to set your own. Don't just set the world's. What are yours?
Yeah.
So if you want to create a company that's pretty tough, pretty militant, like what's the values of the Navy SEALs? Like that's not for everybody, right?
Yeah. No, it
different
isn't.
values but you can't reduce yourself. I remember with CrossFit, something very interesting happened. So CrossFit was born out of that vigilance, that military style training.
Yeah.
But then it went out to the general public. So it was pretty niched up, CrossFit.
Yeah.
And then went out to the general public, and then, mothers started doing it and teenagers and all these different groups of society started doing it. And then some of these groups weren't into the military style, the brand of that. So then they started like demanding change. So it actually had a huge conflict. So the founder of CrossFit came under a lot of attack from within his own community. And it's like, well, but it was founded on that.
Right.
So what you're looking for is a different brand. And society has this all the time too, where immigrants will come with a different value system. And it's like you can either, some of them will incorporate into the value system of the country, or some of them will demand their own. And both, and through new demanding of values, like we can have growth and things like that. But, when you're signing up for something, it's like if you know the values of it, don't go in and then start trying to change the values to suit yourself.
Totally. I agree. But you open that door up if it's not articulated. So,
that's right.
So if it's like not clear to people, then it could open up those things. Like maybe CrossFit didn't have enough to explain about, what this is founded on and what we believe and, what this is all about, right?
Or just the new side of the community was challenging the old beliefs too. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's negative. I'm not saying you always have to follow lock and step, but if you're having conflict with people or you're having conflict in your organization, it's like almost a value problem.
For sure. Like almost every conflict I've had has been because a value wasn't either correctly communicated or was being really lived out by the person that was maybe not like displaying it to me in a variety, whatever that might be. Yeah. So standards or faith or, all these things, it's amazing. So tap the sign if you get on a line.
Yeah. And you get misunderstood too with values because you might value being taking time to relax, and another person might deem that lazy.
Right.
Or you might value being disciplined and focused and, single focus and put the blinders on. And another person might think that you're stubborn or inconsiderate,
Yeah.
So it's all perception based upon the value.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're designed to make you stronger.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Okay, so let's bring this in for a landing. I really think that the next steps for people is to like take some time in the next day or two, like maybe an hour, 2 hours maybe, like make it a ritual, make it fun, get some food if you feel like it, get some drinks, like put some music on and like think about your values.
Yeah, write them out.
They'll
be revealed.
They all will be revealed. If this podcast is opening your eyes to powerful new ideas, helping you think bigger, and opening your level of awareness, be sure to hit subscribe right now and leave us a 5-star review. That will help us reach more ambitious people just like you ready to grow.